What you eat doesn't just affect how you look or feel, it impacts how you think, how you perform, and how you show up every single day. I'm Vicky. I'm the manager at Fresh Perspective Resourcing. We are a recruitment business with a twist based in Chorley. And today we're diving into sport and performance nutrition, cutting through the myths to focus on what really makes an impact on your day to day lives. We'll be talking about practical nutrition strategies, balancing training with real life, and how evidence based advice can help you reach your health and performance goals. Joining me today is Liam Agnew, a certified sport and performance nutritionist with the International Society of Sport Nutrition and a member of the British Dietetics Association's, that's a big word, Sport and Exercise Nutrition Register. Liam is also an experienced personal trainer, has competed in powerlifting competitions too. So, Liam, welcome to the podcast.
Morning.
Hello, how are you feeling about being here? I know you said you're a bit nervous.
Yeah, no, all done. Looking forward to having a chat about fusion.
Oh, good. So, for anyone who doesn't know you, can you share your journey into how you got into nutrition and how you kind of got into this industry?
Yeah, sure. So I started off doing a undergraduate sports science degree, and on
Okay.
the back of that, I then became a personal trainer, and I was working with clients face to face for I don't know about 7 years in a busy commercial gym. And it was
Right.
during that time that I then went to do my postgrad diploma in applied exercise nutrition, which was amazing. Absolutely love going back into the science again. So I was doing that
Yeah.
alongside my PT career, and then because I kind of scratched that itch and really wanted to get into the science of the nutrition and stuff, I wanted to go on and do a master's degree. So I ended up doing my master's in sport nutrition at John Moores University. And then I graduated that at the height of COVID. So I did my lab-based stuff in lockdown, which was interesting. Uh,
Oh, how did that work?
it was hard work, to be honest, because
Yeah.
it was all like hypothetical data, so it was all done like outside the lab, and it was a hard graft, but it was very rewarding to get it done. So on the back of that, I then ended up going into more clinical based roles, so working with adults tackling obesity in a specialist weight management service. So
Right.
for the last 5 years or so, I've been working with people that are preparing for bariatric surgery or helping with supporting GLP-1 medication, which is like the weight loss medication or the injections. And that's where my career is very much at the moment, is helping with behavioral change and putting the right habits in place for sustainable health and long-term weight loss, essentially.
Nice. So you've done it for a long time now. How many years have
Yeah.
you done this kind of stuff altogether?
So coaching now would be getting on for 15 years.
Wow. Okay. So you know your stuff then. So, you obviously mentioned that you started as a personal trainer and then you moved into the sport and exercise nutrition side of it. How come you kind of made that shift from that into the more sciencey based side of things?
It was more a case of, I think, at the time, I think maybe it's probably quite similar now, is that we're in like an information age, aren't we, where there's so much information readily available to everybody. I think at the time there was a lot of real sort of dodgy nutrition advice, I'd say, or dodgy advice out there. So I really kind of motivated to provide that evidence base and make sure people are being properly informed about the right nutritional choices, because it is a bit of a minefield when it comes to nutrition information. You hear all different things about what you should be doing, and it can lead people astray, and it can be quite challenging for people to know where to start when it comes to looking into information that's going to improve the health or performance or the nutrition in general. So I think that's where it kind of
Yeah.
really takes it from. I think the
Yeah.
PT industry is notoriously bad for for some of that kind of advice. I think it's definitely got better over time, but at the time, yeah, that was where I was kind of coming from.
Yeah, because I feel like you do see a lot of information everywhere about nutrition, especially, do you know, with like influencers on Instagram and stuff like that, that they
Yeah,
say all this stuff and you get people coming on being like, this isn't right, because they're not qualified, some of them, are they? They're just kind of spouting
no,
a load of rubbish.
yeah, that is it's a challenging one. That kind of rise of the influencer and stuff. I suppose more in like few years gone by, it's like supplement sales and stuff like that. So there's always a bit of an agenda and things when it comes to that kind of stuff. So yeah, being wary of that and being conscious of where you get your advice from is definitely something to bear in mind if you're looking to get into that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. You should probably go to an expert or someone who's qualified like you and not just um, believe everything that you see online. I don't think, because I've seen some stuff sometimes and I'm like, wow, I can't believe people actually believe some of this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be quite extreme, some of it as well. But it's yeah, I think it's definitely a skill to knowing where to get your information from because it's a case of like having that bit of critical thinking and having a bit of always like two sides to kind of things and stuff and not taking everything at face value. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've always kind of got my advice from when I've been to gyms and they've got people like you basically who are personal trainers and then they do the nutrition stuff on the side. So kind of believe all the stuff that they tell me. But if you're just someone who kind of Googles it on the internet, there's just so much stuff out there, isn't there, to sift through and you just don't know what to believe.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about high performance in business, and how important nutrition is for leaders who want sustained energy and focus throughout the day. So how important is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you've basically fueling your performance. So if you're not putting the right stuff in that your body needs, you're not going to perform well at any level. So obviously, when it comes to business and high performance, you're making sure that you're giving yourself the best chance of performing. So there is some kind of real stuff that you can be doing, some relatively basic stuff that's going to give you a much better chance at performing at a higher level than if you're neglecting this nutrition side of things and you're not fueling your body properly.
Yeah, because it's not just about fueling your body for, say, like going doing a gym workout. Obviously, that's super important, but it's for like fueling your brain as well, isn't it? If you're not eating the right stuff, your brain's just not going to be working.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think there is actually some evidence of how much of a contributing factor your brain is for your overall energy expenditure. It counts for an awful quite high amount of it, particularly if you're
Yeah.
doing that kind of role as well. So definitely, it can be overlooked sometimes how important it is to fuel your mind and to fuel your body and for feeling like your best as well. And I think definitely as well when it comes to when you're feeling better about yourself and you've eaten the right kind of food, you feel better. Things like confidence increases, might become more assertive, all that kind of stuff. It goes hand in hand with putting the right stuff in your body, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people who maybe are higher up in businesses, like business owners, managers, things like that, for helping you make decisions. I feel like if you're not thinking clearly or you're not fueling your body right, I don't think you're going to be able to be good at decision making and be able to make the right decisions for your business, for your people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone knows what it's like when you're tired and you're drained of energy. If you're not feeling yourself enough or feeling properly and you've not got that amount of energy, it becomes much harder to make decisions and your decision fatigue becomes more of a factor. And you know yourself, if you're tired, you're not always making the best choices when it comes to nutrition, and you might also be affecting decision making in other areas as well. So definitely an important factor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, timing of food and meals as well can confuse people. I feel like you hear stuff all the time, like don't eat past a certain time and eat. Yeah, there's loads of stuff that flies around. So, what does science actually say about when we should be eating our meals?
Well, so quite a big topic. This, I suppose, if you if you if you channel it into so from my background, a lot of the time, currently anyway, I'll be looking at it from more of a weight management point of view. So, what's the
Yeah,
kind of best things to be doing in order to lose weight? And a lot of that, I suppose, in more recent years, the rise of like fasting has become or was quite a prominent thing, and that was kind of the idea that you give it quite a long time before eating.
yeah,
Uh, it's not necessarily a line that I would always go to. It can have its uses at times. Personally, I much prefer people to have a set meal structure. So something along the lines of 3 meals a day, starting off with a decent breakfast with enough protein that's going to help you manage your appetite and fuel you properly. So obviously, ideally some carbohydrate as well that's going to be long lasting and sustain that energy. So the timing, I think, particularly before work, if you can get something in a proper breakfast which is high in protein, looking around about a minimum of 20 grams of protein in that. And then obviously you're going to be looking to make sure you're getting something in proper at lunchtime. I'm always surprised by in my clinics how many people do skip breakfast or then get something quick and easy on the go at lunch because they're busy at work or eat lunch at the desk and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
making sure that you're prioritizing that meal structure. So yeah, the timing of it, I think the most important thing for that from a business point of view and performing at work is making sure you're getting a decent breakfast in. Alongside that, making sure you're getting a proper lunch as well. And then that obviously set you up for that evening meal too. So things like eating after a certain period of time, the most important factor is making sure that you're eating across the day and making sure you get your total amount of calories that you need over that 24-hour period. So I suppose if we deflect a little bit from the point, point there, is that kind of answer the question right way, I suppose?
Yeah, like, it doesn't I suppose it doesn't actually matter when you eat, it's kinda what works for you, like, that's obviously the optimal times to eat, like, 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah.
your dinner, but it is more about, like, the calories that you're taking in kind of really, isn't it, in those meals?
Yeah, well, especially from a weight management point of view, uh, you wanting to obviously make sure you're getting the right amount of calories in over a daily basis. But the way that you separate those up, there's two kind of factors. One is it's going to be like optimal for performance, but then is it going to be also convenient for you? Because if you're completely unable to do that, and then it means that you're either under fueling or compensating later on in the day if you've missed breakfast and lunch and having like a really big meal and then going over your calories that way, that can also be detrimental. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean, it's not a steadfast. You have to eat 3 meals a day, and that's the best thing for you. If it's more convenient to go a little bit longer in the morning, have something a bit more substantial at 11 o'clock, and that still fits your calories, and you're still getting enough nutrients that you need, and that can also work. It's not always a one size fits all, but in terms of the best kind of case scenario, where I would start to work with is kind of 3 meals a day.
yeah, because I think you did mention there about, like, having protein, in your breakfast, and obviously you should have protein throughout your meals to hit kind of what you need each day, but that is something that I struggle with, like, keeping my protein intake up, because that's what keeps you full, isn't it, for longer, like, your protein, so
Yeah.
from my point of view, like, what can I do to get my protein intake up?
Yes, absolutely. So protein is the biggest thing that's going to have an impact on like satiety levels and that feeling of fullness.
Yeah,
So if you try not to overcomplicate it too much is the kind of main thing I would say. There is a lot more of these kind of high protein snacks and stuff that you can get available or
yeah,
seeing like the yogurts. I find those really handy in the morning if someone's struggling a little bit and they want something a bit on the go. Getting 20 grams of protein from a protein yogurt, maybe a slice of toast or a bit of fruit alongside it can be a good way to introduce breakfast if you're not normally having it, or a way of topping up that protein at breakfast time. You don't necessarily have to have the high protein yogurts. You can also just have the normal kind of Greek yogurt or a bit yogurt and
yeah.
fruit can also have with a bit of protein. Or even simply, if you're really struggling with it, having a glass of milk alongside, if you're not having cereal or whatever. So, like a glass of milk with a piece of toast or something can be one way to boost your protein intake in the morning as well.
Okay, yeah, 'cause it's important, isn't it, to have, like, a good source of protein in every kind of meal that you're having, and that's what I struggle with, but that is what will keep you full for longer, isn't it, if you increase your protein?
Yeah, and the big thing as well, particularly from the demographic that I work in normally is from a weight management point of view is managing your appetite at a lower calorie intake is one that is quite a hard thing to do. So the more protein you can get for the lower calories, the easier it's going to be to stick to that calorie deficit that's going to result in weight loss. Uh,
Yeah,
but from a performance point of view as well, so that's also going to contribute a lot to your lean muscle mass. So being able to train properly and get the best out of your training with high protein intake is going to help as well.
yeah. Cool. So I think we kind of touched on this before about what we eat can affect like our focus and like decision making, but can what we affect our stress levels as well? Like especially if you're running a business, can it impact that?
Yeah, well, the biggest risk factor for that really in terms of the stress is under fueling and not eating enough. That being in like a chronic energy deficit is what's going to raise your stress hormone, so cortisol. So that's going to be increased if you're not getting enough food in. Again, it kind of boils back to making sure that you're having a decent meal routine and some structure to your meal so that you're getting enough fuel into your body and to your brain as well. That'd be the biggest risk when it comes to stress and managing that. There is a little bit of it as well. If you're going quite low carbohydrate, that can also affect things a little bit. Carbohydrates can help uh, reduce stress a little bit in terms of like the cortisol response as well, the
I think
serotonin.
as well, when you stress, the first thing that drops off is your food, isn't it? Like, you're just like, "I'll grab something quick or I'll miss a meal." I'm terrible for it. Like, if I'm stressed at work, I will, like, sit at my desk and quickly eat my lunch, or I'll just go and grab something that's convenient, and then it's just like a snowball effect, isn't it?
Yeah, well, a lot of things I see is actually the other way as well. So stress can
Okay.
also be a prompt for snacking or for overeating. If someone's had quite a stressful day, their way of like a coping mechanism for that and a way of switching off and relaxing would be having like a snack or maybe like a glass of wine or something, or the snacks that go along
Yeah, definitely.
side that can also be quite a big contributor to weight gain as well, which in turn it may not be also all that helpful either, both for performance and
Yeah.
for clarity, yeah.
That's the problem as well, though. I'm like that. I will go for a glass of wine or a pint. If I'm like, I'm stressed, I've had a stressful week at work, I'm like, oh, I'll go for a pint or I'll go for a glass of wine. And the calories that are in them, but you don't realize it, but there's tons, isn't there, in like you drinking your calories and not really getting anything from it.
That's it, yeah, and then so you got your drink, and then you also got any snacks that you might have it. If you've had a few drinks and you end up having a pizza or something like that, you're gonna be doubling up the calories that way, and then there's also the following day where you might not necessarily pick the healthiest choice for breakfast if you're feeling a bit rough or hungover in the mornings. That
Oh,
high
yeah.
calories can also follow into the following day, and then it's amazing how much that hangover or alcohol can drain your energy, and if we're talking about high performance, it can absolutely drain you and contribute to poor decision making and what have you, so that's a whole separate beast, I think, alcohol and performance,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's all intertwined though, isn't it?
yeah, and I think particularly when we're talking about stress, because that is obviously can be one of the real big kind of triggers for people, this like stressful work environment and alcohol or food intake, whatever it may be, can go hand in hand with that. I think that could be one of the real damaging aspects if you're looking at it from a weight gain point of view, is that it can be both ends. So at the time, like at work, if it's stressed and you're not eating during the day, that can also lead you primed for later on when you've stopped working and you're not eating all day. You're going to be hungry, be tired, and not making the best choices. And all of a sudden, that can really escalate into a few drinks or a lot of food or whatever it may be that's happening a bit later on in the day as well. So that kind of
Yeah, like,
ties back into timing as well. So when you're
yeah.
timing your meals properly throughout the day, it can make it easier to resist that overeating kind of thing at night, which is quite a typical pattern that I see people having.
Yeah, so one of my friends, she always says that she is really bad with that. Like she eats so well in the day. Well, she doesn't eat well, but she'll skip breakfast and then she'll have like a salad or something for her lunch. She's a teacher, so she isn't able to snack or anything like that. But then she'll go home and she'll have a tea, and then she will snack on like a full packet of sweets and biscuits and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my god, like how are you eating that much at night?
Yeah, it's quite a common thing because people like to say, "Oh, I eat quite well." But when you dive into it, there's a lot and things like the sweets and the biscuits and all that stuff. It's amazing how many calories can be in that stuff. People are always shocked if you ever start using like MyFitnessPal or start tracking the
My
calories and
god.
see just how many calories in a few biscuits. You're like, wow, I was eating way more than that. So
Yeah,
that calorie awareness is a massive factor as well, which is a big thing.
yeah, I feel like you do have to be a little bit calorie conscious, don't you? Because it's like you said, like, you just think, "Oh, a couple of sweets, that's nothing, like, I can just have a couple of them and I won't think about it," but it can be, like, hundreds and hundreds of calories in a couple of sweets, can't it? And you just don't realise.
Yeah, and biscuits are particularly bad as well, things like your digestion and stuff like you can go through calories like no man's business getting through those. Uh,
Yeah,
and the big thing as
definitely.
well is they're not really gonna do much for your appetite, so they're not gonna help you feel fuller so you can keep eating that kind of stuff, which is sort of like the importance of having something more substantial in that meal to prevent the snacking creeping in.
Yeah, and there's literally, like, no nutritional value in there, is there? So, you're not really getting apart from you're like, "Oh, it tastes good," you're not really getting anything from it, are you?
Not really, unless you need the carbohydrates if you if you're falling like
Yeah.
a something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there can be a place of biscuits, I'm not saying you can't have biscuits, but
Oh, yeah, I have them all the time, and I would never, ever cut them out. Like, I think I eat quite well, but I do still have, like, wine, at the weekend, and I'll have a pizza, and I'll have some biscuits in the afternoon. It's just being, like, wary of it, isn't it? And just moderation.
yeah, yeah, it's an easy term, but I think that definite that awareness of what you're eating is massive. It goes works both ways as well, because if you're not eating enough, then you might need to make sure that you're eating a bit more in a lunchtime meal or a breakfast meal to help performance. But yeah, I think if you're aware of what's in your food, it's definitely an experiment I'd recommend people to try, even if it's just for a few days, is to use some form of tracker. There's a few different ones like NutriCheck or MyFitnessPal,
Mm.
just so you've got an idea of what your typical calorie intake can be. Quite a good way to do it is to do like 2 days during the week and 1 weekend day. So you get an idea for your patterns across like a working week and also the weekend. And it can be quite eye opening in terms of what you're actually eating and where you're getting the bulk of your calories from.
Yeah, definitely. I do think MyFitnessPal is a good because I used to use that a lot when I was younger. I used to religiously use it. I would literally track everything, and you don't realize. Do you know? Like I would just be having brews, and if you put the milk in of how many brews you've had throughout the day. I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. But I think it is good just to kind of educate you. I don't think it's a long term thing to use MyFitnessPal because you can become obsessed with it. But it's good to
Definitely.
just educate you on what calories you're actually consuming throughout a day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. You can become quite neurotic over it. You don't become too obsessed with it. You get can lead to
Yeah.
like bad relationships with food. If you're really busy and you feel like you're not gonna have time for that, can be a bit of a barrier as well. So you don't necessarily have to do it all the time. But just checking in every now and again can be a bit of a halfway measure, quite a nice way to give you that information that would really benefit you when it comes to your calorie awareness.
Yeah. Cool. So what myths about weight loss would you love to completely debunk?
Oh, I don't know where to start. There's so many.
Is there?
I think from like a practical point of view, uh I suppose there's a bit of a myth that in order to be like losing weight and to be really like healthy stuff that you need to be setting loads of time away to meal prep and setting all your meals out, and you need to have this kind of all or nothing approach, uh,
Yeah.
where you're all in and you go to the gym all the time and 5, 6 times a week or whatever it is. And that's not necessarily the case, certainly not with the kind of demographic I'm working when it comes to sustainable weight loss. Very much like the best way to do it is to have a decent look at what your current situation is and how best you can go about improving it. So if that is the case, I'm going to start incorporating a breakfast into my day. That's going to have quite a big benefit, and try and start off with something that's going to have the biggest impact for what might feel like the lowest amount of effort. So kind of trying to pick that low hanging fruit. So I suppose the biggest myth that I like to dispel is that all or nothing approach, because you don't need that. It's a case of forming habits over a period of time, giving yourself that time to put things in place, and building on it gradually.
Yeah. What about, because I feel like I hear this quite a lot about like weightlifting. So if you're trying to lose weight, not not lifting weights because you'll get muscly and then you'll put weight on and all that type of thing.
Yeah, so I think it's a really common concern amongst a lot of like females are going to get like quite bulky and stuff by doing weight training, but obviously that is something that takes a long period of time. So the biggest difference between like male and female is the testosterone level. So women don't have anywhere near the same amount of testosterone as men, so it takes some it's a much different scenario, and it does take a long time to build muscle mass, like substantial amount of muscle mass. So you absolutely don't need to be avoiding weight training. It's something that's going to be really beneficial for overall health. Things like bone density, reducing that risk of osteoporosis, and having a strong body is going to be really important for longevity and quality of life going forward, which you're absolutely going to get from your weight training. And there's all kind of different, obviously, benefits from your weight training in terms of the lean muscle mass that you're going to preserve if you are losing weight as well. So incorporating weight training is absolutely something that everybody should be doing. So yeah, if that's a concern for you about getting too bulky, don't worry about that. Absolutely incorporate it into your routine.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's what you just mentioned there or this is something else, but if you're building muscle, does that help you burn more calories. Is that right, or is that a myth?
Yes and no. So I think it's kind of been exaggerated a little bit how much muscle mass does have an impact on your expenditure. So it does contribute to resting energy expenditure, but not quite as much as some people might think. Uh, the bigger risk is losing muscle mass, particularly as you're losing weight. So if you're losing, so when we're losing weight, we're losing both fat mass and muscle mass. We want to try and minimize the amount of lean mass that we're losing. So to do that, you would do resistance training to keep hold of that. And it can be, there is evidence to suggest it is quite a strong appetite regulator as well in periods of restriction. And it's actually come from like starvation diets, like man the wartime, where if you, people like really lose weight, a lot of weight during a time when they're not eating anything, when it comes to restoring that, because the body doesn't like big changes over time, so it'll actively drive up appetite to get that lean mass back. So it's a case that if you were to stop dieting and you've lost a lot of lean muscle mass, and then you were to regain that weight, because fat mass comes back quicker, you're gonna end up at a worse position than when you started off. So it's a concept called
Oh,
like
okay.
fat gain. So if you're losing a lot of weight and then regain it, and you go back to the same weight, you're gonna be a higher proportion of fat mass than lean muscle mass. So keep,
Okay. Didn't know
yeah,
that.
keep resistance training in is one way to keep hold of muscle mass, and it does contribute to metabolism. So over a long period of time, if you're constantly losing lean muscle mass, it does start to get harder because your resting metabolism will start to slow down. Uh, but I think in terms of like the original question, it can be a little bit overestimated how much of a
Right.
contributor it is to your resting energy expenditure. I went quite excited then, didn't I? Sorry, I might have lost a few people. I do get kind of a bit carried away with that, with
No,
the
no,
kind of,
no. It's good to know because it's like we were saying before. You can get given all this information all over the internet, and you don't know if it's true or if it's correct. And it's just nice to talk to someone who knows. I know that you know exactly what you're talking about, so I know that I'm like, wow, this is informative. So thank you, thanks for
all
answering
right.
my question. Um, and finally, what is the one key message that you would want listeners to walk away with from this episode? Your top piece of information. I
Oh,
know there's probably loads you could say.
I think from from my background at the moment, I think the biggest thing that I was trying to get across to people is to start off small. You don't have to completely change your whole lifestyle to improve your health and to get fitter and improve your performance. Sometimes small tweaks can go quite a long way. And I
Yeah,
think definitely building on things gradually. You don't have to be perfect straight away, but if something's going to help, if it means including a breakfast or a better meal or a better meal structure, I think that's going to be ultimately the best thing to do going forward. So try and find a bit like we talked about before, that low hanging fruit, whatever it may be for you, that's going to give you the biggest reward for the lowest kind of stress and effort, and you build on it from there. Just build gradually, because it does take a long time to build habits and to stick with them. So yeah, giving yourself plenty of time and starting off slow is where I probably biggest takeaway. And not feeling like you need to be that all or nothing perfect from the get go, because it's not necessarily the case.
yeah, and I think with that as well, like the all or nothing thing, it's like when people, do you know, they're trying to eat healthy or dieting or whatever they call it, and then they fall off the bandwagon like for one day, and they're like, "Oh, that's it now. I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
It's like just get you can have like a wobble or you can have a treat day or whatever, and you just get back on it. It's not all or nothing, is it? It's not like, well, you've had one bad day, so just sack it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Over time as well, that can be quite like detrimental if you're constantly feeling like you're going to do it and then you don't, and then you're going to
Yeah,
be because people can start to lose confidence in themselves of being able to actually do that. Particularly, everyone knows someone who's done a diet and then it's not worked out, whatever. So if you're constantly doing that, you do kind of lose confidence that you're going to be able to follow through with something long term. So I think definitely building those habits over time builds your confidence. When you start to see like improvements in whatever it is, performance or your weight management, it does give you that confidence to keep going with it as well. So definitely, it's a case of finding the right starting point for you is appropriate.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, that's all my questions for you. We do have a little part of the pod that we do at the end, which I don't know if you've been. I didn't tell you about this before. It's just a game we play, so don't worry.
No.
I'm just bringing it on you. So it's something that we call fresh or stale. So
Right.
I'm gonna throw like 5 things your way, the words or phrases about basically what we've spoke about. And all you need to do is tell me if they are fresh, so we like them, these are good things, or they're stale and we think,
Right.
nah, we don't like them. So the first thing is the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm in for that. Yeah, I like it. It's good. Fresh.
Yeah, did you watch this year's?
No.
Oh,
I did watch
no.
the Eminem one a couple of years ago. That was good.
Yeah, you don't stay up to watch it though. It's well late,
No,
isn't it?
no, with a job, no.
And then this one, Man United.
Absolutely fresh. Love them to bits.
Are they your team?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, fresh.
Yeah.
And I'm getting fresher all the time as well.
I'm not good with football. I can't answer any. I don't support anyone. My dad supports Liverpool, which I'm presuming
Stale.
you probably don't like Liverpool.
Staler than stale, yeah.
Do you go and watch Man United? Do you go? Have you got a season ticket or anything?
I did when I was growing up, used to go all the time, and then more recently I had a cup season ticket, but we've not done very well, so we don't have a cup season ticket anymore. But I do try and get there when I can, yeah.
Man United not doing well anymore.
They've had a few barren years. Well, they say that. We won an FA Cup recently, but no, we're not doing the best at the moment, but we're on the up.
Right. Okay. And then we've got men in skin tight vests at the gym.
Absolutely stale. No, no,
Is that not? No, is that not a
no,
vibe?
no, no. The
Okay.
less said about that,
Uh,
the better.
and then Love Island.
Oh, do you know, years ago, I did used to watch it, but I've not watched it for years. So
Oh,
I'm gonna say stale
I'm a
now.
big I'm a big fan, it's fresh for me. I love watching Love Island. I get obsessed with it. It takes over my life.
Yeah, I know what you like. I know what you mean. No, it's gone stale for me.
Not not for you, yeah. And then finally, we've got CrossFit.
Oh, that's a tricky one. I'm gonna go fresh because I think anything that helps people enjoy exercise and get into it, I'm gonna go with a fresh. There's some of it that's probably not the best, but overall, I'm gonna say fresh.
Yeah, I was gonna ask why are you on the fence about it? What could make it stale? Is it
Well,
what about it?
I think some of it is maybe I'm like a bit wrong on this, but years ago, some of the technique might be questioned, like the risk of injury and stuff. You know, with the more complicated like weightlifting stuff that's incorporated into it. But in
Yeah.
terms of actually getting, because one of the big things with CrossFit is like that community element as well, which is massive. And if you've got people that are all there training together, people enjoy exercise or physical activity, then it's a win for me. So I'm gonna veer towards fresh.
Is it similar to High Rocks, or is that completely different to CrossFit?
Oh, I suppose it is in some ways a bit similar. I think the CrossFit is more. There's a lot more, like, stuff like weightlifting in it, like traditional kind of weightlifting, like clean jerk, snatch, all that kind of stuff, whereas the high rocks
Yeah.
is a bit more, different kind of exercises with it, and it's more like race efforts as well, isn't it, the high rocks. They do compete with CrossFit, don't they? But no, it's, yeah, I think that's the main kind of difference.
What would you say High Rocks is? This isn't one of them, I'm just adding it in. Would you say High Rocks is fresh or stale?
Oh, I'm gonna say fresh for the same reason as, like, CrossFit because it is
Okay.
people train and stuff. I suppose it depends on what you've seen of it and stuff. No, I'm gonna say fresh. I'm gonna say fresh, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much for
Alright.
joining in, our game. Thank you for coming on the podcast. I know it's your first one you've ever done. Would you do another one?
Yeah, definitely, I enjoyed that. It was
Yeah?
good to chat, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been lovely having you on. So, if people want to go and like check you out, where can they find you across social media?
So Instagram's where I mainly post on, the platform that I use. So yeah, it's Liam Agnew coaching on Instagram as well.
Okay. So if they want some more info, they can go and find you on Instagram. Fab. And then if you want to check out Fresh Perspective, you can go to our website, which is www.fp-resourcing.co.uk. We're also on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find me on Vicky Taylor on LinkedIn. I hope you've all enjoyed the episode. Please like and subscribe and leave us a review if you can. And then join us again in 2 weeks where we'll have another fantastic guest for you. So thank you very much for listening.